Hello everyone, and welcome back for some more reviews with book reviews. No, that doesn't work. Okay, doesn't matter. We've got a new book today, and it's actually one of the first books that I read in this 2025 thing. It's a classic, but it's still fantasy. So if you're looking for something that is sort of an easy introduction into that kind of area, then you should consider The Hobbit. The Hobbit is a great book. It's fantastic. It's wonderfully short. And because it is, I'm calling it a classic. I don't know if they define it as a classic or not, but it's definitely a fantasy. And you've probably either heard it or seen the movies. By the way, if you've seen the movies, it does not ruin the book at all, because I have found out this past year that the movies really just maybe cover 20% of what a book really entails. And even when they turn The Hobbit into a trilogy, they still just like this part of the book is like the third movie. Like it really is. Yeah, they made the movies to make money, which is fine. So this is a great book. So first of all, I gave it 5 stars because it was a fantastic classic. So I kind of define classics as ones where they're older, and they, the English gets a little bit old, so it's a little harder to read. I know there's more to classics than that, so I'm not, again, sure if this is defined as one. It definitely is a fantasy. J.R.R. Tolkien comes up with this beautiful world that actually gets really intense after The Hobbit. So if you really want to get into this Middle Earth universe, and you're wanting to do it in a reading kind of way, Lord of the Rings and that trilogy gets intense, and it's really awesome. I definitely recommend those too. And then if you really, really want to nerd out, you've got the Silmarillion, which is another big book where it's just talking about the history of Middle Earth and all this stuff. And then there's 50 other books that either Tolkien wrote or his son wrote or his grandson wrote. There's just a lot of stuff if you're really wanting to nerd out in this universe. But The Hobbit is very, very simple. It introduces you to hobbits and dwarves, a little bit of elves, but it's a very small book. Somebody once described this book to me as a book written for almost children, like a Tolkien version for children, which I wouldn't define it as that. There's been a few books that I've read that definitely are more written for a younger audience, but this one I would not say is it. But it is a good short read. It is less than 300 pages, so that's a short read. It's easy to read, easy to follow along. Don't let that first chapter fool you, because he's kind of introducing hobbits and things like that. So it kind of feels slow at the beginning, but you just gotta stick with it for a little bit, and it will get interesting. I would say that you probably get about this far in before it gets interesting. So chapter 3 or 4 is where it starts to get interesting. And then pretty quickly after that, probably about there is where I started finding it I couldn't put it down. I have to finish this book. Partly because I have loved the movies for so long, and it's I'm seeing so much different stuff in here that's so different from the movies. There's a lot I want to say on that, but I don't want to spoil it. Even if you, especially for those people who have seen the movie, I don't want to spoil it, because it might be even more interesting to you if you've seen the movies. Because then you're well, what was different? What happened? What changed? And there's a lot of stuff that changed. There's a lot of personalities that aren't depicted the way that they should be in the book. So this is a book that has zero spice. Not a single bit of it, not even hand-holding. It's all about adventure and all about, going out and leaving your home, especially for those that don't like to leave their home. I also like this book because it is a bit of an analogy, I think, for my life, someone who loves the comforts of home, Bilbo Baggins, and but still feels a need to go out into the world to help those who need help. So yeah, I totally feel the protagonist in this one. I do like to go out and adventure to help where I can, but my heart is always going to be in home. So yep, this is my recommendation, The Hobbit. This one cover I got from a colleague here in the Middle East, and so when I have a classic that I'm trying to buy that's like really old and there's many different covers out, I do try to find one that I really like, and in this case I didn't have to find it. My colleague found this for me, and I'm super excited. It came with the set of Lord of the Rings, so very happy to give you this recommendation. I'm giving this one 5 stars. This is one that I will easily probably sit down and read again, probably very soon even, because when I first read this one at the beginning of 2025, I did feel like it was a book that sustained me, that I felt like it was a bigger book. Now at the beginning of 2026, holding it, I am thinking, wow, this is such a small book, and I definitely want to reread this one. So anyway, 5 stars I gave it when I first finished it. I'm still giving it 5 stars. And yeah, that is The Hobbit for you. So hope you enjoyed this review, and have a great day.